Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Welcome to the Tuesday podcast. It's your old mate DJ Payne here. And yes, I'm slowly coming back. Thank you to everybody who's just sending me messages and prayers and comments on the socials. I really, really appreciate that. Now, I was the brekky guy there for the last year and a half. If you're new to this, Robbo's handed the reins over to me, and about just over 2 months ago, I went and did something silly and basically chopped down a tree, and it landed on my shoulder. I thought, even when I was in hospital on that first weekend when it happened, I thought, a couple of weeks I'll be back in the studio. No. I had to have an operation. I've been in recovery, been in physio. It's still ongoing. But the great news, well, at least for me, I don't know about yourself, but the great news for me is that I'll be back in the studio live for Rise and Shine as of this coming Monday, the 2nd of September. I cannot wait to get back to you. I hear that Laundry Gang is well overdue. I don't think there's been enough laundry discussion, and I've got to get back into reading the Psalms there at the top of the hour. So some of the things that I'm passionate about, want to bring them to you. Got a lot of great stories coming up, but would love to hear from you. If you're listening to this in the week prior to me coming on back, please drop us a line, get in touch with us. You know how to do that. It's Rise and Shine. That's Rise, A-N-D, Shine, @vision.org.au. Couldn't make it easier. Rise and shine @vision.org.au. Drop us an email. Let us know what you're looking forward to with me coming back. Or you might be emailing me going, who are you again? What's going on? Because I know we've got a lot of new listeners in Sydney and Melbourne through the DAB, the good old DAB listeners there in Sydney and Melbourne. Welcome if you're tuning in for the first time. On today's podcast, you're going to hear our wonderful mate Tony from the newsroom is going to be giving some very hot news stories. Music Machine is back, and we are so close to getting this Music Machine that I cooked up, by the way, Music Machine together to get the prize there. Brad and Kate get on the line, the wonderful Brad and Kate from families.org.au. Father's Day is on the way, and in light of that, there is some Lauren Daigle tickets. She's going to be in the country in November. They're up for grabs. And I mentioned on yesterday's podcast, if you don't know, Robbo is a complete Petra-tragic. He's one of the biggest Petra fans I've ever met. I think he's got all of their albums on vinyl, I think. And I think if it was up to him, he would be coming in the spandex and the rock outfits and ready to go. With Petra there. So I think we get to hear another Petra song on today's podcast. I think he's somehow maneuvering and slipping these in as requests. But cannot wait to be back. Thank you so much for downloading the pod. I'll see you back here tomorrow. And again, I'll see you live on Monday, the 2nd of September. Enjoy the show.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
Being a Tuesday.
That's right. We are regular on a Tuesday. Tony Davenport has joined us from the newsroom. How you going, Tony?
Good, thank you, Robbo. And in the hot seat, we've got Phil.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Phil's pushing the buttons and doing a great job.
Well, tell us though, Tony, we've got you here because you're very good with the news and a Christian worldview. What have you got for us?
Okay, well, here's one that's really upset the Australian Christian lobby. There was a court case last week in which a transgender person had their rights supersede the rights of women. A judge ruled that that person had been discriminated against because they were removed from a women's only app called Giggle for Girls, which was there to discuss, women's issues and girls' issues, and it was deliberately set up by its founder, Sal Grover, as a space where women could talk about anything in absolute confidentiality. And it was set up partly because of some abusive situation that had happened in Sal Grover's past. And she just wanted a safe place. But this transgender person called Roxanne Tickle took the app to court and Sal Grover to court and won. The judge ruled that Roxanne Tickle had been indirectly discriminated against, and that the acceptance that Roxanne was correctly described as a woman is legally unimpeachable.
Wow.
Now, Sal Grover said she was expecting this result and will appeal and keep fighting and fighting. But on a legal basis, it could be really quite tricky. Now, this has prompted Wendy Francis of the ACL to say the word woman has become virtually meaningless.
Yeah, that's right.
And she says the Australian Federal Court has effectively revised how being a woman is interpreted. It is no longer a biological reality, but a matter of self-determination. And this judgment means that women's-only spaces such as DV shelters, school change rooms, toilets, online chat rooms and prisons, and also women's sport, will see an increasing presence of born male people present. And she said female sex-based rights no longer exist in Australia, with the word woman having been made meaningless under the Sex Discrimination Act.
Yeah, well, she makes a great point, because I guess that's very concerning, isn't it? That basically anybody can just go, oh, I want to identify as a woman, and therefore turn up in the change room or turn up in, like you said, a DV shelter. I mean, imagine that you've got women that are actually trying to escape gender-based violence, and yet potentially they could be exposed to it in that environment.
Yes, and the real danger is what is happening overseas in these situations. We're getting places where, and it's you can do it in Australia as well. You just go along and register as a female. If you're a man, you go along and register as a female, put it on your driver's license, and you could theoretically go to any gym or sports club and say, "Oh, I'm a woman," even though you might look like a man, and be allowed to use, or basically be mandated that you can use a woman's change room or locker room in a sports club. And the danger is that some male predators may take advantage of this, and that has happened in a couple of American gyms and caused quite a furore. And so the danger is that it could happen here. And it's not only the Christian people who are getting upset by this. There's also women's lib organisations that said that the decades of fighting for women's liberation have been a waste of time. Right. And there are no permanent exemptions for women anymore.
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for us to pray and
definitely.
to really be thankful that there are bodies like the Australian Christian Lobby and Wendy Francis who are stepping in that gap and making sure that our government is talking about these issues and looking at them from different angles as well.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely continue to pray. And as you said, I mean, this case will likely be appealed, but let's pray that common sense prevails in it, and we'll have a change in the ruling. So a good prayer point there, Tony. I know you've got another news story for us, so we'll play a song and we'll come back and hear some more from Tony Davenport from the newsroom.
First, you're waking up with Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo for your Tuesday. And being a Tuesday, we've got Tony Davenport here in the newsroom with news for us.
Yeah. Now, you've got another story for us, Tony. You were just telling us some Aussie news, but this is something that's happened overseas.
Yes, this is what's happening to the Church of England in the UK, not in Australia as far as we know. But what they appear to be doing, they're not using the word church very much to describe. They've done a lot of church planting, opening new churches and new faith organisations across the UK. And there's been a group that works for the Church of England called the Centre for Church Planting and Theological Research. And it's been investigating these new church plants. But and one of the most amazing things it found is that the church doesn't refer to any of these new church plants as church plants.
Oh, what did they say?
It dropped the word church.
Oh.
It called new places of worship, new congregations, new communities, and this Centre for Church Planting, it went through all what at least 11 dioceses had published in relation to these new churches, and none of them had used the word church. In fact, here we've got in the Telegraph newspaper over there, the creation of a new church group is traditionally referred to as a church plant. But the report found that while 900 new churches had been started by the diocese in the past, and that's just 11 dioceses, none had used the phrase church plant. They had used phrases like congregation, community, and new faith communities.
Wow. So do they call themselves
idea,
the community of England? Because they are. They're like church is in their name.
But it is an interesting idea because I think from a marketing perspective, we look at stereotypes around names and perhaps they've done some brainstorming. Whether there are people who said, I'll never set foot in a church, perhaps they've done some research and said, oh, maybe by calling a community or a worship, maybe people are more open to that. It'd be interesting to know the background as to why they have chosen a different term.
It could have been that, and there's a vicar who's quoted as saying the apparent reluctance to use the word church reflects a misplaced desire to be relevant and modern sounding. There might be trying to be trendy, but a church is a church, and the church is and the Church of England. Somebody, a spokesperson, referred to it. We couldn't use the word church because we're not putting all these new organisations in buildings. But it forgets that the church is not the building.
That is the good
people.
News. That's right.
So why can't they use the church?
Yeah.
It's more descriptive of what they actually stand for by saying church community, not new community, church community. It explains it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it's interesting to see that that's happened there, and I agree with you, fella. It's most likely there's been some sort of a research or cultural person that's gone. We want to be careful not to offend anybody. But anyway, it's great to know that they've planted 900.
That's exciting.
Nonetheless.
Yes, that's really good.
That's a bit of good news.
I've got one other little bit of good news here. It relates to the actor-comedian Tim Allen, who's been wavering with Christian faith all his life, but he's never read the Bible. And then out of nowhere, he posted this week that I never took all the time in all my years to ever really read the Bible. Currently, I'm almost through the Jerusalem Bible Old Testament and almost done with the prophets. Next up, the New Testament. So far, amazing and not at all what I was expecting. And it was the first time he had ever read the Bible at 71 years of age.
That's amazing. Oh, that's
exciting to know.
Great bit of good news to
That's what Pastor Greg Laurie said. He said, "That's fantastic, Tim. The Bible is God's very word to each of us."
Excellent.
Amen. Our basic instructions before leaving Earth.
That's it.
Good to dig in and have a read. Well, Tony, thank you so much for coming down, and we'll see you next week.
See you then.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
You're waking up with Rise and Shine.
And if you're not awake yet, this will wake you up.
Listen carefully. Identify all the songs and the artists in the correct order and win a great prize. It's Rise and Shine's Music Machine.
Well, it's been said that today could be the day that we get through the end. Is that it then? Are we ever playing this game again, or is it going the way?
No, it'll mean we'll have a new set of songs starting tomorrow. But no, look, we are very close. We've got 4 of these songs now that we know in full, and the 5th one we know the artist, but just don't yet know the name of the song. So if we can figure that out, put it all together, we could have a winner.
Oh, well, that is very exciting. I'm going to put in the tape. Robbo, talk us through what we know so far.
All right, so starting with the 70s, this is David Meese and Everybody Needs a Little Help. Then the 80s with Stephen Curtis Chapman and More to This Life. Then we're into the 90s with Rebecca St. James. This is the one we picked up yesterday. This is called Pray. Now, this is the one we don't know yet. This is Need to Breathe.
Okay.
And then the 2010s, Francesca Battistelli and If We're Honest. So there we go. That's the songs, 5 different decades, 5 different songs. Just that Need to Breathe song is all we need to figure out.
And look, I'm terrible at this game, but I even feel like I know that song. Even if you like Natalie and I and you da-da-da it, you could perhaps da-da-da enough that someone else guesses it. There is a theme as well, Robbo.
Mm-hmm. There is a theme across the 5 songs. If you can pick up the theme, then there's a bonus prize for you.
And I feel like it should be a good prize because it sounds like a tricky theme.
It is a bit of a tricky theme. But if you can tell us the 5 songs in order, the artist and the name of the song, then you'll win yourself the voucher from the Armoury Bookshop. And today, is it $130?
It is by my record.
Yeah, $130.
So incredible. All you have to do is give us a call on 1-800-316-316.
Or call to play.
Do it like like it's nothing.
Mac Powell, like it's nothing. And, well, this is something.
Listen carefully. Identify all the songs and the artists in the correct order and win a great prize. It's Rise and Shine's Music Machine.
I was just thinking it'd be a bit of a miracle if we actually get all these 5 songs
There's a
like
few
it's
ways.
nothing.
That song is perfect for this
That's
segment,
right.
so it's well placed.
We are playing the Music Machine, though, and trying to identify these 5 songs from 5 different decades. We need the song title and the artist in the correct order, and you'll win a great prize. In fact, it's up to $130 today from the Armoury
getting up
Bookshop. So
there.
it's certainly
Probably almost
valuable.
a record.
Yeah, I'd say so. So let's go to the phones. We've got a few people calling through this morning to play this. 1-800-316-316 is the number to call, of course.
Pinky, are you there?
I am here, Phil. How are you?
Yeah, excellent. Now, you rang early on in this piece to say it's just too hard. Are you telling me you've got a piece of the puzzle?
No, I'm still trying to get that cassette player out of me cassette.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm glad you and
It's
I are
stuck.
still the same when it comes to this one.
Yeah, I'm on your side, pal, all the way.
Oh, I love it, Pinky.
Oh, thanks for voicing your opinion, mate. That's good.
No, that's all right. I'm here loading and I've got machines and everything around me, so I just wound all my windows up. But I want to have a stab at the theme. That's what I want to have.
even
Okay,
better.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to cheat a little bit. Can I get you to run through them one more time for me?
yeah, we
Rightio.
can do that.
Just the songs, not the artists, just the songs.
Oh, do you want the
songs?
names? Do you mean, or do you want me to play the piece? Do you want the
No,
names?
no, just the song title.
Okay.
Yep. So the song titles that we know are David Meese, Everybody Needs a Little Help.
Yeah,
Stephen Curtis Chapman, More to This Life.
yep,
Rebecca St. James, Pray.
yep.
And then obviously we don't know the Need to Breathe one yet, but Francesca Battistelli, If We're Honest.
Well, if we're honest, we all need a little help to pray.
Yeah, that's actually, that should be the theme.
That's
Is
great.
that the theme?
That's a very good suggestion, Pinky, but unfortunately not correct.
I bet your theme is better than whatever the theme
It's
is.
definitely a sub-theme. I can go with that.
Oh, DJ's going to kick himself. He's going to go, I should have thought of that.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
right.
Next time we'll get
I
you to
don't know
write
what
it.
the last one is,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for the call. We got someone else to take, but great to hear from you.
All right, bless you, bye.
Thanks, Pinky. Morgan, good morning.
Good morning. How you going?
Yeah, great. Are you going to take this home for us?
Well, I've only just started listening yesterday, so I've got not all of the artists and songs. So I definitely do know the Need to Breathe song, though.
Oh, okay, great. Well, what do you got for us?
So if I read that out, then someone else can get onto it.
Oh,
Okay,
you're lovely.
perfect.
Because I know that Fel's had enough of it. So I better wrap it up.
You know the problem is, Morgan, I have had enough, but they can just give me another one.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
it doesn't solve my problem.
All right. So as soon as I heard it yesterday, I knew it was Need to Breathe, The Outsiders. It's a great song.
Oh, yes, you have nailed it, Morgan. Well done. That is so good. So, but you don't know the other ones at all?
Oh, look, no, I wrote a couple down, but you're too fast for me. So whoever gets
All right,
it, be
well-
blessed and enjoy the voucher and spend it wisely.
Okay, well,
bless
it'll be,
you, Morgan.
yes, whoever rings next might be able to just swoop in and claim the prize. So good on you, Morgan. Thanks for your help with it.
All right, God bless you guys.
God
All right,
bless.
bye. All right, well, there we go. It's set up for somebody. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time. We'll play these songs again, and whoever can name them all in the correct order will be able to win the prize. And, of course, it'll be up to $140 when we
That
play
is a record,
tomorrow.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
That's amazing.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekky show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily Podcast.
It's a Tuesday, and I've got Robbo here. Very exciting. We've
And-
also got Brett and Kate Ryan.
That's right, Brett and Kate joining us. How you going, guys?
Yeah, good.
Very, very well.
Excellent. Of course, we're gearing up towards Father's Day, which is this Sunday. So if you haven't already, make sure you organise something for Dad for this Sunday.
Well, we should get some ideas, I think. If you're out there and you've got a good Father's Day idea suggestion, give us a call and let us know. Let's be sharing and caring about
Yep.
this. Brett and Kate, maybe you could start us off. Have you got some ideas for Father's Day? What should we be getting Dad?
Well, obviously socks and jocks.
That's right.
You know what? That is not even a joke. My dad was like, I literally want that. Please, please, people.
Well, every year you can replace the ones that you had
That's it.
this year, and then socks. Yeah, I could definitely go for a few more socks, but sometimes it's very difficult to find that perfect gift. And we also have to acknowledge that there'll be some people who they can't even think about buying a gift because they either have lost their father or they haven't had a healthy relationship with their father. So we also know that this can raise up some probably some hurts or some unresolved issues. And so we have to also acknowledge that. But if you have got a dad and you have got a relationship with them, it's a time that you can actually honour them. And it's not necessarily the perfect gift, but actually what you say and to affirm them and to appreciate what they have done for you in the past and hopefully continues into the future.
I love that because you think back to, we talk about the 5 love languages, and there was a joke going around, I'm not even sure if it's a joke, that really for men, 2 of the most common ones are touch, but also words of affirmation. Kate, you're nodding there. Do you think that's true?
It absolutely is true. It's so funny because we kind of do this with our marriage retreats, and so many people, when we talk about Brett's love languages, well, the major 2. I mean, he likes the other ones as well, but
yes, of course.
The major 2. A lot of the men are going, yeah. And it has a lot to do with, let's face it, the composition of a man. It's where God says, husbands love your wives, wives respect your husbands. So words of affirmation are big for a man.
Right.
Showing respect, showing honour are really important. So it's not kind of a surprise that that's what's going to be a lot of men's languages of love.
Yeah, so true. And I guess the important thing is, though, is knowing if you can sort of figure out what Dad's love language is sort of making sure that you're speaking his language, so to speak. Because if it is, let's say, it is words of affirmation, but you're buying him a gift, then it's actually not necessarily landing.
Well, he probably won't mind, but as long as you have a nice card.
So long as it's socks and jocks, that's the main thing, hey, Brett?
But it is that hug, physical touch, and those words speaking over them, which is often, it can be harder, can't it? But it's so important to be speaking out and honouring Dad. And I can see, Brett, you're nodding your head. That's important to you.
Oh, very much so. But I'm always very mindful that some people say, well, my dad's not very tactile, doesn't like hugs. He's always been aloof. And so, as Kate was saying, many men have primary language of love. But as a father, if they haven't experienced that growing up, it can tend to follow through. So, and we've often spoken about in our conversations about family of origin, to understand what makes Dad tick. And so that may be a great thing you could do this Father's Day, is actually to find out a little bit more about their history, what it was like growing up, what was it like with their father and or their grandfather. All those things actually help shape your dad, and the good and the not so good.
Yeah.
And that's an important aspect, to actually have a full perspective or an appreciation of the way that he is wired is because of the way that he was brought up and those experiences.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, we're going to explore this a little bit more. And I mean, part of this also is obviously the different stages of life. Like if you've got young kids versus if you've got adult kids, it's going to look a little bit different on Father's Day as well. So hang with us, guys, and we'll come back and talk some more.
And we've got Brett and Kate Ryan zooming in with us this morning. Hey, guys.
It's a pleasure being with you once again.
So good having you here. And, of course, it is Father's Day this weekend, so we've been talking about Father's Day. And I was just saying a minute ago, Brett, that obviously the different stages of life, I mean, on Father's Day you might be with some really young kids or teens or, adult kids. Like it changes over the years, and that's going to obviously change the flavour or the look of what Father's Day will look like.
Oh, very much so. But I'm happy for my young adult children to come back and make me breakfast in bed and enjoy that and be pampered. But that's not likely to happen. But at the same time, that I think the intentionality of actually showing honour to our fathers is really important. But I'll have to go back a little bit more about, are you the type of dad or the type of father to be worthy to be honoured?
Wow.
And so it's really important to focus on how to become a better dad.
That is a big question to ask, and a tough one as well in the lead up to Father's Day. What's your answer, Brett? What are some of the tools? Or Kate, maybe jump in. What do you think are some of those ideas that could be leaned in for a dad who says, hey, I want to be a better dad?
Oh, well, there are actually some amazing scriptures about it. One is, encourage your children, discipline your children, love your children, be there for them when they're hurt, when they're upset. I mean, the whole concept of being a parent isn't just one of financial provision. That is part of it. That's part of being a dad, but also to engage with your children. And I think one of the funny ones is fathers don't exasperate your children.
You've got to remember, I was a nurse for 15 years, and so when the kids used to fall over and they weren't, broken bones everywhere, because I was a critical care nurse in accident emergency, so I was sick and the most injured. So when there was a little scuffed knee and they were, hysterical, I would get the giggles because I think it would be really, really funny.
And it was like, did you die?
Oh no! I can imagine that exactly.
And I as a good husband, I often got sent to my room
to think and reflect on your behaviour,
not be able to laugh at my children at the time.
It was very, very funny because times where I'd say you need to say sorry, I do. And then he'd be laughing all the way to their bedroom. I go, yeah, that's not it. you need to kind of go away, get yourself together, and then go back with an actual contrite heart.
That's it, a sincere apology.
Yeah, but funny. Humour is also a good thing. So I use humour in my nursing practice, and often those injuries that my boys sustained they'll start getting the giggles as well. So it worked. It probably wasn't the ideal and not very biblical. We are all a work in progress, and now I can do the same thing with my grandchildren, and I show so much more empathy as well.
Oh, nice to know that you've grown over the years. But I know that you guys have a toolkit on your website for dads. So if you're keen to sort of think, well, I want to be a better dad and more worthy of the honour as a dad, people can download that. What will they find in the toolkit?
There's a number of different things, conversation starters, some activities you can do with the kids, and maybe some just general tips on how to become a better father. And that question you asked before, fella, what you could do, have a look in the mirror, what type of man you are, because your role modelling, the words that you say, they're all the things that are going to set you apart. And your kids may not remember all the things that you did for them, but they will remember how you make them feel and to encourage them. And even now when our boys got a little bit older, they'd always look for us on the sidelines of a sporting event. Even though they were adults, they were used to it in there when they were little, but then they always liked that sort of that nod or that clap or that encouragement. And those little things can make all the difference in the worlds of your kids.
I just think it is. That's really fantastic, Brett, because it's...
Oh, thanks. That's what words of affirmation.
No, I like that.
She's just doing an example of that on radio.
I love it.
We do need to role model that they're watching us.
Yeah.
So if there is a mum around, we need to role model what respect looks like, not take it for advantage. Or what's the word?
I have no idea.
For granted. Not take for granted. Sorry, it was lost there for a minute. Take for granted what the husband, father does, just showing appreciation and saying, I really respect you and appreciate you. Yeah. And when you role model that and talk to the kids about their dad, it should be in an honouring way, not bad for dad, not putting them down, not saying...
In public or in private?
Yes, all private. It doesn't matter where you are. And I think role modelling is so underrated. Yeah. It's not taught, it's caught.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
well,
so
look,
good.
there is so much there.
Yeah,
I love it. We're talking about it. We're not looking for perfection, but just progression.
Yeah,
and you can find out more on the Families website, families.org.au. Is that right, guys?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Well, I just did a search there. Just type in Dad's Toolkit and it'll come up straight away.
Brilliant.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll leave you one thing. The best thing you can do for your kids is to love on their mother and to be the type of dad that you want your daughters to marry, and those examples. And so to work on this marriage is ideal to be a good father, and that's the ideal setting, obviously. And just on a side note, we're going to be in Mount Gambier and to do a thing on marriage on the last weekend of September. So if people would like to attend a marriage event and they know anyone in the Mount Gambier area, you can go to the Mount Gambier Baptist website, and we'd love to see you there.
Fantastic. Wonderful. All right, we'll look forward to that, and we look forward to catching up with you again in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great Father's Day this Sunday, Brett.
Thank you very much.
Let's check in with the newsroom right now.
Great conversations, fun, inspiration and more. Rise and shine with Felon on Vision.
John Newsom, that just makes me calm just hearing.
It's a beautiful end to the song, isn't it?
Anchor, you're on Rise and Shine. We're feeling a bit groovy here now. But we are talking Father's Day. How many sleeps away? It's not very many.
No.
I don't tend to count. There you go. Right. Well, at least we've got a dad in the house counting. But it is Father's Day week, which is, for women, we often think ahead of time. So you might have already been out at the shops getting presents. I always think it's fun letting the kids choose. And the Father's Day stall at school is normally a good place for some pretty fun sort of a gifts. Have you got anything good from the Father's Day stall, Robbo?
I'm not sure about fun, but funny. I had one that comes straight to mind, which was a while ago, because obviously my boys were in primary school at the time.
Right.
But they came home with a VHS head cleaning tape.
Really?
Now, at the time, we didn't even own a VHS player.
Oh, no.
So we had no use for this VHS head cleaning tape. So I don't even know why would they have it in the stall. It was a very random gift. But anyway, I think from memory, I re-gifted it to my father because at least he had a VHS player.
Was he thankful for it, do you think?
I think he was a bit like,
what?
Don't think we'll ever use that either.
Well, I remember that being one of those weird things that you had in the cupboard. So for kids listening along, my kids are listening, they're like, what is this? We used to have these boxes and you'd put like a tape in to watch a movie, and every now and again you'd have to clean it. So you'd put like a cleaning disc in. It was a bit odd.
You'd put in a bit of cleaning solution and it would clean the head. So,
what a strange gift.
It was a very bizarre gift. So that was definitely the one that comes to mind as being the more unusual that I've received.
Okay, then we better, for your boys' sake, we better go from low to high.
That's it.
What's the best gift they've ever given you?
Well, the best one, I did mention this briefly yesterday, that the LP player, the record player that I was given, and I actually went in my phone last night, I thought there must be some record of this. So sure enough, I had a video, which I've put onto the Rise and Shine page, by the way. You can have a look at it there. It was 4 years ago that they bought me that record player. So I had, because I'd already, by that stage, collected about a dozen Petra albums. So I was then able to play them. So I've got a little video there of the very first Petra song I ever heard was God Gave Rock and Roll to You. And it's playing there on the record player. So that's a very memorable and definitely, setting the bar nice and high for Father's Day gifts.
Oh, well, this morning we'd love to hear from you. Maybe you've got a low bar, just a funny gift that you've received along the way. You're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Or maybe
a plant in a boot or something like that.
Who knows? Yeah, that's right. Or perhaps the best, or maybe a cool homemade idea. Whatever it is, let's share across the nation. We've got a big brainstorming group here.
Yep.
We've still got time to make these things happen.
Yep. And you know the rules with brainstorm. There's no wrong answers. You can just throw it out there.
It's always something that you say, but people in their heads are going, oh, that wasn't a good one.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Well, let us know some of the best and maybe the most quirky or worst.
Memorable, maybe.
Memorable, that's a good word for it. Most memorable Father's Day gifts that you've received or given. 1800 316 316, or you can send a text on 0447 488 316. But we'd love to hear from you today. 1800 316 316.
Across Australia, this is Rise and Shine with Felon on Vision.
Tuesday.
And speaking of faithful still, I want to honour the faithful Vision family.
Yes.
Who have really stepped up. Of course, last Thursday we did Takeaway Hunger Day in partnership with Feed the Hungry. Just an amazing organisation doing some great work in developing countries. And we had a goal on the day to see 30,000 kids fed for a month.
It's a big goal.
It's a massive goal, because $6 feeds a child for a month. And so last Thursday we were asking you, how many kids will you feed?
Yeah.
And the good news is that we've actually hit our goals. So the Vision family have all come together.
Wonderful.
On the day, I think we were up to about 18,500 by the end of the day. But then it continued to grow over the next few days. And yesterday I just was glancing at the website. I was going back to look at something, and that was sort of the page that it was on.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, look, we've hit our goal.
And it was a big goal. Like, that's bigger than we've had previously.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I think last year our goal was 25,000.
Wow.
So good to see that growing. And, so thank you very much. If you've been a part of that, just so grateful to everyone playing their part. We had some people just feeding one child, and we had some feeding hundreds of children on the day. So everyone has played their part, and the great news is that the goal has been met. And I believe, I haven't seen this officially, but I did hear a whisper that the national goal, because we were part of a bigger program on Thursday, I believe the national goal has been met as well. 120,000 kids fed through the efforts of Christian radio all over the country. So it's a really exciting thing that we can be a part of and celebrate today.
Oh, I love that everyone's getting involved and being part of something bigger than ourselves. That's really what it's all about. Exactly. Is that we by ourselves, I couldn't go and feed children in Uganda very easily, but it's wonderful to know that we can support the people who are.
That's right.
And now I guess our job is to pray.
Exactly. We can be praying for those kids, pray for people like Pastor Solomon, who we met last week, just doing incredible work there, feeding literally. I mean, they're feeding, I think he said 76,000 kids a day.
Amazing.
Through all the different projects that they're involved with. So incredible. Yeah. So let's be continuing to pray for him and for the kids as well, and celebrate the good things that God's doing around the world.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we are coming up to the news and we still are waiting. If you've got any Father's Day ideas for us, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you on 1800 316 316. Danny Goki, I got you. And look, that's a good segment starter right there. What did you get for Father's Day?
That's
got you.
I got you, ... Well, tell us what you've got for Father's Day. Some of the more memorable gifts. We'd love to hear that from you this morning on 1800 316 316.
Good morning, William.
How are you?
Yeah, great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
Father's Day idea.
Yeah.
I have been making little twig crosses.
Oh, that's very special.
That's cool.
There's so much natural beauty that I've sort of uncovered in them. I mean, sometimes I remove half of the bark of the branch and stuff like that, but the actual diversity of the sort of species of different trees, and I don't know what most of them are, to be honest, but it's absolutely beautiful.
That's great.
That is handmade.
So you're just making like something that would be on a necklace. Is that the sort of size you're doing?
That sort of size, key ring size, and then sort of ones that are actually sort of forearm length. So actually sort of quite diverse in length. But I still want to make a batch for you guys, but I don't know how many staff are in the Vision Brisbane office. So
right. Well, you might be keeping busy because we've got about 50 people that work here. So.
Oh, wow.
But
I've got enough raw material to do it, but I just need the time, I guess. But yeah, I can do that. Oh,
well, it sounds like a nice gift to give away, though, as well. Even just, what a great opportunity to witness as you give.
That's right.
Who have you been giving the crosses out to so far, William?
Basically sort of friends and family. But I guess what I'm sort of thinking about sort of running past the minister at church is to actually sort of say, well, look, what if those people who are sort of coming to Christ and getting baptised, to give them a sort of lasting reminder, but I've also given to people who I've prayed for.
Nice.
That's excellent.
As a reminder that it's not me who sort of healed them, it's the Lord.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Excellent. Great to hear from you, William. Thanks so much. And that sounds like some wonderful gifts you're making there.
Terrific. Good on you guys.
Bless you.
Have a great day.
I do love
that's great.
that. You know what? Because they're lovely homemade gifts. I do love, when the kids are at prep and kindy and they're making those homemade gifts, why I love my dad and answering. They're my favourite.
Yeah, I've still got a couple of those on my fridge, actually.
Do you?
My boys are obviously grown up now, but I've still got the little, it's like a tile, I love Dad, and a photo of the boys. So they would have been, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but I still have them on the fridge because it's one of those memorable homemade gifts that you get.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let us know what are the ones for you, memorable gifts. 1800 316 316.
Rise and shine with Fel and Robbo on Vision.
That's Lauren Daigle. These are the days, and these are the days if you want to see Lauren Daigle in concert. It's very exciting.
Right. Yeah, she's going to be here in November, so she's doing a bit of a quick tour of Australia. She's going to Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne and Perth in the middle of November. But, we're talking about Father's Day gifts.
Yes.
If you want to buy your dad a pass to a ticket to Lauren Daigle, you could be like a daddy-daughter date or something like that if you're keen on Lauren Daigle.
It's kind of like those are the best gifts because you're giving yourself a gift.
Yeah, that's right.
But Dad is kind of getting something as well. I mean, that's a win-win, isn't it, really?
Buying an experience is definitely the way to go. And actually, if you want to even save some money, you could win a ticket. We've actually got double passes to win to Lauren Daigle at the moment on our website. So you could just go to vision.org.au/giveaway and enter your details there, and you'll be in the running to win a double pass to one of those shows. Of course, the only downside with that is that we won't be drawing the winners till next week. So we sort of have to say to Dad on Sunday, I might have got you a gift, but you might need to have a backup
gift. But you might have the best gift ever for
That's
Dad.
right, yeah.
It's called the Kaleidoscope Nights Tour, and I have been watching her along on Instagram, Insta following her. It's very colourful, very loud, very fun. It looks like it'll be a great concert to get along to.
It really is. I went to see her when she was out last, which was actually the month before COVID. So it was like the last normal show that you went to for a while. But it was amazing. Like, full band, and as you say, like just incredible. Her vocals are amazing, but the musicianship of all of her band are just next level. So it's a great show, definitely worth getting along to. But if you can get along for free, that's even better. So you can go on us.
So all you have to do is go to vision.org.au/giveaway, pop in your details, and you'll be in the draw to win.
That's it. So, get into that. It does end on Sunday. The entries close on Sunday for that. So make sure you get in this week to register for that, and maybe win your dad a ticket to Lauren Daigle, or just go with someone else you know. But that's up for grabs at the moment with Lauren Daigle out in Australia in November. This is Emerson Day right now, though. God Ain't Finished Yet on Rise and Shine.
Emerson Day, God Ain't Finished Yet. You're waking up with Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo.
Yes, and we're taking your calls today, and also your texts. You can text through on 0447 488 316.
Oh,
I do that just for Fel's benefit.
I get so excited, actually.
But Andy did text us earlier and said that he knows a young African Christian friend who's going off to university on a scholarship later this week. But apparently he grew up in very similar circumstances to what we were talking about last week on Takeaway Hunger Day. So we've given Andy a call to tell us the story. What's happening there, Andy?
Yeah, he leaves Africa in about, I think it's on Friday. And he's moving to Indonesia. He got a full scholarship at a proper Indonesian university. And he grew up from age of 5 as an orphaned little boy in South Sudan.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and as one of your guests there a couple of days ago, I was listening to someone. I might have been over the weekend while I was listening to the best of, and it was that guy talking about how motivated the kids are to really study hard. And Daniel came out in the top 2% of students in South Sudan about 3 years ago.
That's amazing.
I just thought, I know you've reached your target and everything, but
No, that's exciting, and I think it's lovely that you can sort of put skin on what we were talking about last week, because if you know someone that's actually been there and been through very similar experiences, but that's exciting that he's going to head off to uni. Do you know what he's studying in Indonesia?
He's doing computer engineering.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
He must be.
Yeah, and he's got a mum and 2 brothers in far northwest Sudan, South Sudan, up near the Sudanese border.
Okay.
And so he's looking to, help support them and sort of,
brilliant,
just continue things. And he loves God, and he just keeps praising God for the opportunity that the Lord's given him.
That's wonderful.
And Andy, how do you know him? How did you come across him?
We have a mutual friend. My friend, she set up about 25 years ago. She set up a set of orphanages in northern Uganda and South Sudan after civil wars, and a lot of HIV had taken a lot of parents out. And he was one of the little kids swept, thankfully, into looking after. But so he was going to school, locked in the school during the day to stop the militias from stealing the children. And, it's a classic African story of a young man growing up.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so he leaves on Friday and flies to Addis Ababa, and then to Bangkok, and then down to Jakarta, and then across to Semarang.
Wow.
How old is he now, Andy?
He's 24 now.
Amazing.
So his education was delayed for 4 years because during his teenage years, they had a 4-year civil war and all the schools were closed. So,
That's amazing. We don't know how good we've got it here in Australia when you hear stories like that. But
it does remind me every day.
Yeah. Praise God. Well, it's great to hear. He's sounds like he's got a very bright future ahead of him with all that he's already achieved, and plenty more to come. So thanks for sharing, Andy. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him. My wife keeps breaking into tears when she thinks it's finally happened. You know?
Yeah. That's wonderful. Praise God.
We'll have everyone praying for him as he goes into this next stage of life. So, Andy, thank you. We really appreciate it. It's good for us and good for my kids will be listening. Yeah. Good for my kids to know they've got it very good as they go off to school
That's
today.
it, exactly, yeah. We sometimes take all that for granted.
It's the best way to start your day. Rise and shine. With Felon D. Robbo on Vision.
And it's that time of the show where we let you choose the song to take us into our day. And you can do that so many different ways. You can text or call or leave a message, Robbo.
That's right, yeah. If you ring through and we don't get to answer your phone call, just leave a message. We'll certainly get the message and play the song for you. So that's what's happened with Dean. He's rung through. We missed the call, but he left this message.
Good morning, guys. This is Dean from Inverell. Wouldn't mind hearing Beat the System this morning. That'd be great for a curtain call. Okay, thanks very much. Bye for now.
I agree with you, Dean.
There's been quite a bit of Petra happening here, but look, you're counting down before you get to sleep in again, Robbo.
That's right.
It's probably only fair that we give some Petra for you and Dean.
Bit of a Petra week this week by the look of it. But
Petra Tragic.
I mean, I haven't orchestrated this. It's just organically happening. But I'm loving all these requests for Petra. So let's go with this one. This is a cracking song from Petra. Beat the System. Our curtain call for your Tuesday's Rise and Shine.
There you go. You've got a very happy Robbo here bopping away.
40 years ago that song came out. Can you believe that? Back in 1984.
Now, have you got that one on your record player?
I do. I've got that. In fact, that was the first LP that I ever bought.
Was it?
So, yes, that one, I've got it on my little stack there at home. And, yes, it was a iconic album for me, being the first one I purchased. It wasn't the first one I listened to, but first one I purchased.
Well, there you go. Well, look, that was Robbo's favourite Father's Day present ever, I think, was the record player.
Yes, absolutely.
You can still get involved. If you missed out today on getting through to us, you can do that. Jump onto Facebook. There's a post there and you can add your thoughts. I think tomorrow we might continue on the Father's Day theme, Robbo, but perhaps this time we could have a look at those father figures.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the Forge movie coming out.
Yeah.
And that idea of someone actually jumping in and saying, hey, I'll mentor you, I'll help you. That's a pretty precious position.
It really is very special, actually. So, yeah, you're right. This the movie, it's out on Thursday. Make sure you plan to get to see it over the weekend. But, it's a young 19-year-old boy who's living in a single-parent home, so his mum's raising him. But a mentor comes into his life and it just, I guess, puts his arm around him and encourages him to become the man that God created him to be. So it's a very good story. But let's do that tomorrow. Let's talk about the father figures in our life.
I can't wait. We're also going to chat to some newly minted, we call them, Vision ambassadors. So Tanya will be on the line with us tomorrow. So lots more to come. But that's all we've got time for from us today.
That's right, yes. But stick around. We've got some great stuff on the way here on Vision. The story is just around the corner. And then, of course, Neil's along in half an hour with 2020. So enjoy the balance of your Tuesday and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.